Today is Sunday, June 1st. Yesterday, we had a bunch of friends over with their families to enjoy a Saturday afternoon after everybody gathered to help me move the hoop houses in their new plots in the garden. When we woke up this morning, I got the urge to take Ziggy over to the farm and take him for a walkabout, which we haven't done in quite some time. In fact, I think the last time he and I were at the farm walking throughout the property was this winter, when I was actually skiing. When we finished, I was at the nursery and was able to take a look at how well the trees are doing, quite well, and realized I need to mow. So, I'm headed home to grab my equipment and then back to the farm. In this case, the equipment I'm grabbing is my sickle mower for the BCS. This thing is super heavy, even when I have both hands. I was pretty hesitant to pick it up, and it turned out I was right to be so. Normally, I would just pick this up with both hands and walk it awkwardly to wherever it was I needed to put it into a vehicle. But it was very apparent that with one hand, that wasn't going to be an option. So, I went and got my trusty garden cart and did my best to get it up there. The actual BCS tractor itself was already over at the farm in the barn. Michael brought it back from the shop for me. The shop is a place, the name of which I'm not going to mention, where I've had some problems in the past. They're a BCS dealer, and they're supposed to be able to fix BCS machines. It's been some time since I've taken anything there, but last fall I decided to give it another shot. There aren't a lot of BCS mechanics in the state of Maine. Unfortunately, I've had bad luck again. I sent the machine into this shop with instructions that I wanted them to look at the clutch system because it didn't seem to be working properly. I also asked that they take a look at the motor itself and just make sure that everything was shipshape and give it a tune-up, whatever that means for them. It ended up meaning take a look at the carb, clean it, and, yes, indeed, replace the clutch. Altogether, I spent $500. When Michael brought it back, we weren't able to start the machine. It turned out there was gas in the oil tank. That explained the thick blue smoke that would pour out of the exhaust as it was trying to turn over. Once we drained that out and replaced it with oil, the machine ran once, and then I parked it here. When I came back the next day and looked quickly, I saw that there was a stain beneath the engine. Upon further investigation, it looked to me like it was a gas leak. I haven't pinpointed the location yet, but the leak seems to have stopped, which means to me it's pretty high up on the engine. I checked to make sure there was gas in it. There was. Not that much leaked out, and I had just filled it when I got it back from the shop. However, even if there was a gas leak, and there was gas in the engine, it should not prevent the engine from starting. There's clearly something else wrong with it. And when I've just spent $500 on it and asked them to tune it up, that is incredibly frustrating. Well, my trusty PCS is not working right now. Can't seem to get it started. Don't know much about small engines. Usually count on Michael for that. He's pretty good with them. And I'm just getting more and more frustrated. So I'm just gonna go see if I can start the lawnmower and use that to trim the grass under the line for the trees. Pretty frustrating. I had looked at the nursery from a distance and realized that the grass needed to be mowed around the perimeter. However, I didn't get up close and personal until I had driven the lawnmower all the way out here. It was immediately apparent that this grass was so high that the use of my mother-in-law's riding John Deere lawnmower was not a good idea. So I turned around, drove it back to the barn, and decided to hook up the 5-foot bush hog to the 755. That delayed me quite a bit because I don't think the bush hog's been used yet this year, which means all the fittings needed to be greased. I also bruised one of my fingers because I was trying to put on the implement with only one hand. Well, I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. Looks great. Reduces the opportunity for voles and anything else to get in here, woodchucks, you name it. Looks nicer when it's mowed. Safer for the trees. The trees look great. We're gonna have to do something about that other section over there where we don't have any trees yet. A lot of weeds over there. We want to spend each year building fertility in this plot so that we're adding more than we're taking. But got ourselves a nice mowed path down to the trees, and fence line's looking good. I'm gonna have to weed whack underneath that strand, but for now we're good.